What's going on, backenders? Welcome to episode 78, Iconic Movies of the 10's. This is Career Backups Podcast. I am your host, Joey Bowser. With me, as always, is Skylar Eckenrod.
We are such career backups, man. That was great.
Zach Clark is also here.
Yes, I am. How's it going, backenders?
That's our producer.
Yep.
Our producer just was telling us to be quiet and proceeded to spike the mouse off of the ground.
I was going to edit it out.
No, do not edit that out.
Okay, all right.
That is us to a T.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I'm rusty. We're only twice a month now. I'm rusty.
You
guys.
gotta start. They just have to hear that crack.
You're going to. I want to listen back to it after tonight, see what it sounds like. But they're just gonna turn on the radio in their car tomorrow. It's gonna be bam, bam.
It's gonna sound like they hit a deer.
At least, hopefully, those three people are okay.
Yeah, they'll be okay. Trust me. Hey, what are you talking about, man? Our downloads are still way up. We're approaching 900 this month, I'll have you know.
This month.
We only recorded one. Right?
And how many on the most recent episode?
I don't want to talk about that.
So our early episodes just keep getting listened to.
Episode 1 has eclipsed 900 downloads.
Is that still our most, or do we have?
That
or do we have that one that hit that 1,000?
No,
our
that's
conversation
still
last
our
time.
most. That's still our most.
I wanted to hit 1,000.
There's a random one too. Let's Get Frisky. My personal all-time favorite episode, is our after our top 10. Like after our first 10 episodes, that one's like the next.
Let's Get Frisky.
Yeah.
What was that one about? I don't remember.
Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
That's a good one.
That's like good sass.
Honestly, it's gonna be great because I don't ever listen to these after I record them. So in 10 years from now, I'm gonna have hundreds of hours of listening to do.
Yeah.
And just be like, God damn, I was funny. These guys are idiots I was with, but I was funny.
I was fucking.
How did I not get discovered?
How did we not blow?
And then he's gonna listen to this
when-
episode, and he's gonna be like,
That's
I
why.
remember. I was the producer.
No one even knew.
Maybe if you did listen to it, you would be so high and mighty on yourself that you would I gotta up my game.
No,
You'd be pretty down on yourself.
I pretty much approach this podcast like I do everything in life. Just trying to stay, steady for the course. You shoot too far or you go too high, you have farther to fall. That's what I meant to say.
There we go.
Yeah. So
We definitely don't have far to fall. People are always like, how's the podcast doing? I'm like, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
barely breathing.
It's a thing we do every 2 weeks.
I said, I don't know why,
Sometimes.
but we had 1,200 downloads last month for some reason.
I love that. I want to know some new app or something just highlighted our podcast by accident. Because definitely was by accident.
Actually, I just went into Verizon and was looking at new phones and just put it on auto download for everyone.
That's not a terrible idea.
That's
Actually,
a pretty good idea.
Every time I go to Verizon for any reason, I will find the nearest phone and subscribe to our podcast.
Nice.
Do you really? Dude,
Nice. That one download.
Yeah, it only counts as one because I'm
pumping
sure
the
that
numbers. Once Gatorade, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, somebody's going to get back to us about a sponsorship.
That reminds me, I got to reach out to Gatorade again. I'm a little upset that they didn't.
Did they even respond?
Somebody did. And they said, you need to talk to this person. So I emailed that person. But
and they didn't.
that
respond.
person never responded.
I'll email them again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then say, per my previous email.
From 2 years ago.
Found out a neat little trick through the car business. If you title an email as per your request, it'll knock out any of the ad blockers through email.
Really?
Yep. So if you need to get your email to somebody and, you think they might have a block on for non.
I have a
If you
feeling
put
that's not
as per your
true.
request.
I have a feeling that's not true.
So
As per your request.
I don't know if it's true or
I
not.
feel like Zach could probably find that out.
I bet I could figure that
You
out.
probably
I'll
could.
figure it out for you.
I started using it and I've noticed that more people are actually reading my emails at work than they did before.
You can see if people read the
Yeah, because we
emails.
can see if somebody reads an
Oh,
email.
that's terrible. Oh, read receipts are the worst on emails.
I don't have them on anything in
Yeah.
life. I don't want you guys to know I saw your dumbass text and chose not to respond. You know what I mean?
You don't have to worry about me. I do the same thing to you. I'm like, oh, wait, don't worry. He's got an iPhone. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, the superior product, but whatever.
Steve Jobs is a dick.
I was going to send you a photo the other day and it was a picture of Gun Girl. And it was
Oh,
we finally
God.
discovered what was wrong with Gun Girl. And it's a picture of her holding an Android.
She uses an iPhone. I've checked.
Of course.
Tyler Houck, shout out. Thanks for listening.
Unrelated. Is she our back
My
of the
actual
week?
best friend.
No.
Okay.
Why?
Because did you see she like went to that Ohio State campus and was telling people that she's like it started a riot.
Oh yeah.
And the police
Yeah.
are like, oh yeah, there was no riot.
No,
Didn't
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, she's an idiot.
Yeah, and she poops herself.
She
so.
poops herself. People were
We have
throwing
that.
toilet paper at her.
That's great. Good for them.
You guys ready to get into this?
Go for it.
What?
I was just
What's with the
looking.
pregnant pause? Okay.
I was doing pregnant pause. The Sky started. I was like, all right, I'll join in. Zach,
What's
this
it
was
called?
your pregnant pause.
What's that mean?
It's like an awkward pause in audio.
Pregnant pause.
An awkward pause in audio.
Yeah.
Podcast will have.
I don't know if it has to be audio. That's just where I heard it from. Was
Yeah.
a podcast. I don't know, like the true origins of the word.
Maybe they just said that and you guys thought it was something.
Maybe
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's a
You
thing.
won't be able to tell. You
You're right. That's
it's
true.
called a
The
pregnant
internet
pause.
fucking lies, guys.
So, like, if you were talking to your
Amari
wife,
Cooper got shot.
guys, Amari Cooper got shot.
I wanted to know if anybody else heard.
What's awesome is I was napping the whole time that took place. So I was sleeping when Joey said the first one, but by the time I woke up, Skylar had said it was debunked. So I missed the whole hysteria.
the
I
whole
did.
moment of March.
He texted Dez. So
Oh, our buddy Des, friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast
Yeah.
says
He was
Shout out,
on
Des.
episode 33. Yeah.
he's
You want to go back and listen
He's
to
just
that?
trying to start rumors so they don't re-sign Amari, and he can go there.
It's like the
Ooh.
guy has a bullet wound. You want to fucking sign
Dez is like, I fucking shot him.
I fucking shot him. How much money are you gonna pay him now, Jerry?
That's a good idea.
Dude doesn't have a fucking kneecap
We
anymore.
might want to reach out to him.
Let him know.
Dez, we got your retirement plan.
You just got to shoot Amari. That's all it takes.
It's not really a
man.
retirement plan, I guess, because then he has to play in the NFL.
And you
again.
still need the Cowboys to decide to sign.
Yeah, they will though, for sure.
So you guys want to hear my topic idea?
Not really.
All right, fuck it. What do you guys want to talk about?
What's your topic idea?
Okay, so I listened to another podcast that talks about. Obviously, I ripped off my idea from another podcast.
You shouldn't say
Hey.
that.
Yeah,
on a
whatever.
Podcast.
They were talking about the most iconic video games for each video game system, and I was like, well, we can't really do that because Skylar kind of lacks in the video game area.
The answer is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for every
For
console.
every
I
video
mean,
game
there's-
console.
At least like 4 consoles you can say that. For.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I probably would. Because I've probably played that game more than any game in my life.
It's a great
Still
game.
play it.
Still
Did you
load
know
up
you
the
can-
old PS2.
Did you know you can play it on your PS4?
No.
Like you can buy it on your PS4.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yes.
all the Grand Theft Autos. I think
Oh
I
my
bought them. They
God.
were all on sale for like $5.
They're
one
like
time.
dirt cheap.
I am in.
It's even like upscaled a little
All right,
bit.
I'm going home. I want to go get on turf wars with the gangs and shit.
We're gonna come to Backenders Award for next year. We're like, well, what was the best game of 2020? And Sky's like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Fucking Smoke and Ryder, man. Fuck those guys. Traitors. Grove Street for life.
All I did in that game was stand outside the casino, stab people, and then go in and bet on the horses. That was my favorite thing to do. I was a slut for the horses.
We should do that at the real casino.
Oh my god!
Genius.
There's a parking garage and everything. You know how many people you could stab in the parking garage before
I could
anybody-
stab a lot of people in a parking garage, and then
Before
there's
they
so many
get away
places
with
to
it.
hide.
Completely unrelated. Did you ever play 5?
No, I watched people play it.
Okay. Because like it's really good.
It's even better.
It's
would
like
love it.
really
Nah.
good.
I watched people play it. It doesn't look better.
It is.
It's really good.
I
It's
ran
really
I
good.
ran the numbers. It's not.
Well, if you were in the numbers, I've always trusted your numbers. No matter what it was in life,
Accurate.
I've trusted Skylar's
All right.
numbers.
San Andreas is better. It's been determined.
Yes.
So
it is decided.
you were listening to a podcast.
Yeah. Well, sorry, we got off on sidetrack there. But talking about the most iconic video games, I was like, man, the only thing we could do that with anything in sports, but people don't like when we talk about sports. I don't really care about those listeners, but you guys seem to.
You mean all 900 of them last one?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we do
We're
watch-
fucking making it here, so don't diss our listeners. You
Okay.
guys are mediocre most.
I'm never going to finish this. Anyway, I was like, we can do it with movies. So what decade just ended? The 10s.
20,000.
The 2010s. Yes. And I was like, why don't we each pick 15 movies we think are the most iconic from that decade? and then hash it out and come out with the definitive list of say in 100 years.
So we're not doing the 2000s.
No, it's 2010.
Oh,
Are you serious?
He's not.
Okay. It's okay. But like if we were gonna put these 10 movies in a time capsule for people to watch 100 years from now, this would like sum up the story of the 2010s. Does that make sense?
So you actually want a list.
Yeah, we're gonna come down to
Give me
a
a
list.
piece of paper then. I didn't know we were writing. I like this.
So like,
I'm more in.
how many are we listing?
10.
Well, we're gonna list all of ours and then
Yeah, but
whittle
like
it down to 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get a definitive 10, and we can either rank them or no particular order. I don't care, but I want to get down to a list of 10. I numbered mine top 15, but then I also brought like some of the most popular movies from each year in case we need
3 from every year.
You have 3 from every year. Okay.
Hey man, me too. Except for like 1 year because I couldn't get a third.
And so that's kind of how I want to describe it. When we think back to the 2010s, these are the movies that you need to watch to get the story of the 2010s.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Nope.
It's not okay, thanks guys. It's not our favorite movies. Because
Yeah,
okay.
I gotcha. This is a movie that is going to be watched for years to come.
Yes. Best way to put it.
That's how
And-
how I thought of this when I came up
Okay,
with this.
that too. And another thing that I think could factor in is how it gripped the nation, basically. How like at the time, a lot of the movies I'm going to talk about at the time were a very big deal for that specific year or whatever, at the time it was out. Does that make sense? Okay.
Now let me ask you this. Does every year get a movie?
No. It's
Okay.
just the top. It's
That's
the
what I wanted.
decade.
No, you
Yeah.
can't say that for sure.
No, because there are some weaker years, and I was like, I don't want any of these. I
There's
just
a
top.
lot of weak years.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of the best way to
Just list them all at
form
first.
this.
Do you want to?
it's
Do you
pretty
guys have
simple.
your years or no?
I have my years.
So what we could do is we could go year by year,
That's what I think.
and then
would
we
be the
can go
best.
through, since we all have the years anyway, go year by year, and then we'll whittle it down to 20 or whatever from each year. We'll go into each year and pick out a couple, and then keep going from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll work.
So we're starting with 2010. These are all movies that came out from 2010 to 2019.
Oh man, I didn't have to do 2009.
Who wants to go first?
Joey, I want Joey to go first.
Social Network is the first movie I've listed for 2010.
That is the first movie I have listed for 2010 as well. Social
Not on
Network.
my list.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I thought
Not for the record. I didn't think 2010 was that good of a year.
I don't either, because I only have 3 from that year that I even thought were worth writing down. But Social Network was definitely on my
I have
list.
3, and I think only one of them would be considered iconic.
Okay, there's one more big iconic movie for me.
And I
Say
know
it.
I know what Skylar's is.
I'm thinking Inception.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is
I
that what
didn't
you
think it was
thought?
Inception.
Really?
I thought it was True Grit because you fucking love that movie.
No, I didn't even put that on there.
Oh, good for you.
So I really think my argument for Social Network is like the 2010s are the decade of Social Network. That is when it all blew up.
Yeah.
And that was the movie about how it all started. I thought instantly that was one of the first movies that came to mind. Then when I was looking up the years, I was like, Inception was.
That's a
Iconic
banger.
fucking
That's
movie.
a banger. That's one that people will watch for years.
I
feel.
still don't
I agree.
totally understand it,
That's
but
the
I don't know
point.
if anybody does.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. That was one of the best ones of the decade.
Yes,
for sure.
So for 2010, Joey, do you want to write those down?
Yeah, so I wrote down Inception and Social Network.
Yes.
On my list, I also had True Grit. You said you didn't put it on yours, but I did have
just
it on mine.
because I don't, it's a remake, so I have a
understand.
hard time viewing that as iconic.
That's fair. I'll give you that. Because you almost need like the old one comparison.
Yes,
It's like in 2
Yes.
movies. Yeah,
Yes.
all right, I got you.
Yeah.
And then the other one I had for my list was Fighter.
I had The Fighter. I think that's more, and that's why I put it over True Grit because it's a little more iconic.
It's
in my
actually like an
opinion.
original movie.
yeah.
And
I
I
had
don't think-
Jackass 3D.
What?
I had Jackass 3D.
Okay.
Because listen,
I
those
had
movies are
Jackass
always watched.
They are.
They-
And they're
if-
bringing them back.
Yep.
I don't hate Jackass 3D. I don't.
And
that
those
was
guys are, I mean, they're part of this decade.
weren't they?
They're more the previous decade.
The
Yeah.
only thing I would say is I feel like that was like that hit the top. That was the peak, and then it fell off.
Yeah.
But it was part of that decade.
My other
but
thing
I-
would be like, my only complaint for it being iconic is like if somebody was like, "Hey, I heard about this Jackass thing from when you were younger. Will you show it to me?" I don't think I would pick 3D.
See, that's why I don't.
Yeah.
I put it was the bottom one on my list of the 3, but Because it's one of those ones where you can't distinguish which stunt was in which movie, in my opinion.
That also.
So it's a hard time calling it iconic.
Like, I think I would show them one, but if somebody's like, well, what happens in one that's different than 2 and 3? I'm like, I have no fucking clue, but it'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
I love that you brought up, because I have some movies that are like that. Just I brought them up because they had to be brought up. So I love that.
So I would say we got to write Inception. It's going to be on the final list.
I put Inception and Social Network as the 2 moved on from 10, just for now.
So Jackass. Oh, the only other one I have.
Oh, you write them on your phone?
Yes.
Yeah. I have one other one,
really
and it's Toy Story 3.
I want to write it just so I can see it.
You
Because I
write
can't see your
You
phone.
write it, sir.
Okay, I have it written down too.
You'll
If
see
you had
it.
an iPhone, I could just share the note with you, and we'd all be able to
that's
see it.
fucking dumb.
How crazy would that be?
Be stupid.
Whoa.
But I have Toy Story 3 as well. No.
I saw Toy Story 3. Great movie. Better than 2, but not as good as 1.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think it was a big movie. It needed to be brought up.
I agree.
Yeah. And there's got to be some. I think there has to be a kid movie, but we'll get to that one later. I think there is one.
We already
on the
know
list.
Yeah, I think there is a kid movie.
So, okay, let's go to 2011 then. 2010's a wrap.
2011 was a shorter year for me.
I think it was probably close to the same amount. I don't think it was a leap year.
No, it was a shorter year personally.
Another down year for movies. I'm just
Um,
throwing this out there before we get into it, guys.
Yeah.
After looking back on this list, I'm thinking, man, we should be at peak movie time because of the technology that is available today.
mhm.
Kind of looking back, and I'm like, fuck. There wasn't many iconic movies.
There wasn't. I mean, my whole problem, I'll just say it now, with the 2010s is I think it's dominated by the superhero movies. I think that's moving forward. That's the decade of superhero movies. That's when they reached probably the biggest we'll ever see in our lifetime. And so, but we can't name. I don't want this list to be
Well, it wouldn't be. I'm just
every.
telling you.
I know, but what I'm saying is those are the most iconic movies from that time. But we can't just throw every fucking Avenger movie on there. You know what I mean? So my first movie from 2011 is Moneyball.
Moneyball's also on my list.
Do you guys have that?
I have it on mine.
And I think that honestly, when I was ranking my final 15, that term in sports is going to be used forever. And it's because of that movie. They
Wow.
still talk. What?
A lot of people didn't know what Moneyball was before.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
know,
saying,
I
yeah.
know, I
I mean,
understand.
there was a book,
Yeah,
but I think that Moneyball is what
Fuck Reed.
you guys get what I'm saying though?
I hear you.
No, I agree. That's why it's
I
on
agree.
mine.
Yeah.
I didn't think the movie was that great. It's a good movie. I didn't think it was
I think it
special.
brought to light the analytics side of sports, how there is that, and it can be used.
Oh, I loved it. I think we saw it in theaters, didn't we?
We did.
That's what I thought. Though my top movie from 2011 is Drive. And I fucking love that movie. I think it's fucking a
The-
masterpiece.
I hate that movie. With
You think it's
all-
a masterpiece?
He
Think
says
that
3
movie-
words, bro.
Yes.
I wanted to punch him. I can't stand movies where the lead character doesn't talk. When it came up like as the #1 movie from that year, I don't fucking understand it. I don't get it at all. I think it's a terrible movie. What do you like about it?
It's just
like to be honest.
The cinematography, the way the story is told, with him never speaking, like I just think the mixture of everything works perfect. And Gosling is so good that he can display so much without the words. I just fucking love Drive, man. First time I watched that movie, I was like, this is so fucking good.
I didn't make it through the first time I watched it.
Crazy.
I don't even know if I ever went back and finished it, to be honest.
Not a
with you.
fan.
I'm not a fan, but I'm okay with putting it on our list to whittle down because everybody at the time didn't it win like a ton of fucking awards
Yes,
and
I mean,
everything.
Drive is like a cult movie.
I think we got to put Moneyball on there too.
I mean, it's the only one we all seem to agree on.
Yeah. And
What else did you have on yours? Because you said you had 3 for each year.
Warrior.
I never saw Warrior.
Warrior's so good. I had Warrior on my list. I love Warrior. The only thing that disappointed me about the entire movie was after I watched it, I'm like, that is an amazing story. And I thought it was a true story for some reason. And then I was looking it up and
I thought that too, but then I was actually glad that it wasn't true because that means they actually came up with it.
I can't believe you never watched it. Like that's a must-see movie. Anytime that movie
Is it a war movie?
Especially- no.
Okay.
No,
Tom Hardy's in it.
It's UFC.
All right. Yeah, you're right. I need to
Joel
see-
Edgerton, Tom Hardy,
You're right. I'm in.
Nick Noodle.
What's the war movie that Zach always loves that I've never seen? Mark Wahlberg in it.
Lone Survivor?
Yeah, and then
I
that's
didn't
not
know.
it.
No, Shooter.
I like
Shooter.
Oh
Shooter.
my god, that's not a war movie.
Sorry,
That's just
I got Shooter.
The best movie ever made.
Well,
That is perfection. They don't need to make movies after that.
In your defense, it's probably, on my opinion, the same level as Drive.
Well, I never saw Warrior, so you guys can make the decision if it deserves to
I mean,
keep trooping for now.
So there's the other movies I have for 2011. I'm gonna throw this out there. Is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So it's the final one
I know.
of the Harry Potters.
I saw it and I thought about it, but I don't
The
know.
argument can be made against it. This was 2011, so I don't even think Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out in 2010.
Yeah.
But so it was only 2 years of that decade, and it eclipsed. But I mean, that's one of the biggest movie franchises of all time.
It definitely is, and that's why I think like you could make an argument it deserves to be on like the iconic list. But I think like if you did it, including the 2000s, you'd already see one or two of them on that list.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I like the part. I didn't like that they split it up, which is now like a thing that they don't do anymore.
Mhm.
And so I wonder if it's almost uniconic because it still was doing a thing that now companies
That was like
consider.
earlier decade. I get that. I think it needed to be brought up. I wasn't in love with it. It didn't make my final list of 15, but I thought it needed to bring up. And then there's 3 superhero movies that I'm going to throw out. X-Men First Class, Thor, and Captain America all came out those years.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of those deserve to be on a top 10 list, but they need to be talked about.
Yeah, I don't think so because if you're trying to show somebody a superhero movie of that era, you wouldn't pick any of those 3.
Very true. The X-Men First Class was my first one on the list, and that was the only one because it started the new X-Men branding.
X-Men, which also went downhill eventually.
It did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had to throw them out there.
Hey,
why is it so hard for people to do X-Men?
I don't know.
Shouldn't it be easy? I feel like it should be easy.
Because there's so many iconic characters, and they all have cool superpowers. Like they're all cool characters. You would think it wouldn't be that fucking hard.
You think you just got to focus. I think that's the problem. Like Logan's really good because it focused.
Yeah.
It's like when you put them in the tandem, it gets harder. But then you also have like Origins Wolverine where they focus and it's a really bad movie. So who knows?
Hot take. One of my favorite X-Men movies. It's people hate it. It's a hot
That's
take.
a hot take.
Yeah.
All right. So we took 2 from 2011 then?
Is that all we're putting on our final list?
I didn't see
Drive
Warrior.
movie?
I can't put Warrior on it. It's I think it's great, but a lot of people don't know it.
I would say that Fighter, if Fighter didn't make it, my thing with both of those were they're back-to-back years. Those movies cross a little bit to me, Fighter and Warrior.
Yes and no, but Warrior's a way better movie.
It is. Fighter was true story.
Yeah, that doesn't have any bearing to me.
But
that
I
makes it
wouldn't
worse.
put either one of them. Yeah. I agree.
Moving to 2012. Skylar, what's your top movie in 2012?
Django Unchained.
Hey, guess what? It's also my top movie of 2012.
I knew that's gonna make the list. I didn't even put it because I put it on my list because I knew
It would.
you guys would.
And you don't
throw
like
on
it.
there. I don't like it.
And you don't
nah.
like it, which is still mind-blowing to me, but it is what it is.
My top movie. 2012 was a good year, I think.
Yes.
It was probably one of the best.
Yes. My top movie is The Avengers. That has to go on the list. I'm sorry. Like, it has to. It was and no one thought it was going to be as big of a deal as it ended up being. No one thought they could do it right, bringing all those stories together. One of the first ever how many movies actually led into Avengers? That has to be one of the first times that's ever happened.
I have 3 Marvel movies on my list. Avengers is one of them.
Yeah.
So I do agree.
I think it has to be on the
I
list.
also think from this year, which I know it's hard, but I love Skyfall
I have Skyfall on my list
because it might be one of the best James Bond movies ever.
of all time. James Bond. So every decade, you have different Bonds for each decade. You have different Bonds. Skyfall is the pinnacle of the
Daniel Craig Bond.
Daniel Craig Bond. Yeah. I watched it the other day. It's such a good movie.
It's amazing.
Yeah. What do you think, Scott?
I like it. It's a good
Oh.
movie.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's iconic. I
Sounds like
think
it's fine.
for him, for his Bond, I think Bond's always iconic in film, and that's
I'll
the
definitely-
best one. That's the pinnacle of it.
And then weirdly enough, I have a war movie. Zero Dark 30. I really fucking enjoyed that movie. Don't know why.
It blows my mind that that's the war movie you like.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. I don't hate it. I don't hate the movie, but that's the one out of all of them. that you
Yeah,
don't mind.
don't know why. Just weirdly enough, one that I actually saw and it's like, I like this.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's
Okay.
got to continue, but it's weird to think I have a war movie. So
Yeah. It wasn't on my
Shout out
list.
to him.
I didn't actually see it when it came out.
So nobody put
I have more.
Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah. That was I have like
yeah,
3
you
more.
didn't say. That's what I was.
Yeah. We're just talking. Yeah. I have The Dark Knight Rises.
I kind of think it can't go on there just because The Dark Knight was so much better.
That is my problem with it.
Yeah, it's not on my list.
It's not the best. If you're gonna be like, watch one of the Bond or watch one of the Batman movies from that,
You're not gonna pick
You're not
Rises.
picking Dark Knight Rises. It was one of the biggest movies that year. The only argument I have for that is that was like that moment in time coming off The Dark Knight 4 years later. It was, I mean, everyone was fucking going crazy over that. I went to a theater in Pittsburgh in the waterfront and watched the other two movies. They had like an all-day marathon where you watched the other two movies and then right at midnight got to watch Rises. I mean, it was a moment in time.
Definitely.
And it dominated headlines. But
It just sucks they couldn't do better.
I know. And I think of it like Star Wars though. You're like I wasn't there, but obviously I was young, but like A New Hope started something, and when Return of the Jedi came out, I'm sure it was a moment for so many people.
Mhm.
But now, X amount of years later, I don't care that it was a moment for people at the time, because if I'm going to show somebody Star Wars, I'm showing them Empire because it's a better movie.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I completely agree.
So I think when we use the in like 100 years, what movies would we show from 2010s? We're not going to show Dark Knight Rises because we're going to show them the Dark Knight when we did the 2000s.
Yeah. And the Avengers, if you're watching a movie, even from that single year, if you're picking a superhero movie, you have to go Avengers.
Exactly.
You have to.
So that's why I think, as much as I love Dark Knight Rises, and actually I don't love it that much, but I don't think
Did you put another? Do you have any other ones for that year?
I have two more.
What?
My next one is Ted. Okay, so there's not going to be a lot of comedies.
no, there's
on
never
this-
comedies.
There's never
It
comedies
was a
on these
very
lists.
decade now. Like Step Brothers is an iconic movie, and I don't put Ted on the same level as that. I just can't do it.
I don't
Happy
put it-
Gilmore
was an
is an
iconic
iconic movie. Caddyshack.
Yes.
I can't put Ted on those levels.
See, I love Ted, but it was one of the only comedies I even fucking saw. I like Ted 2 as well. It was talked about at the time. Thunder Buddies, I mean, people still talk about Thunder Buddies because of that movie.
And Ted is a little iconic because, they did the R-rated comedy and they blew up and they actually made money. And it started a trend with R-rated comedies after that as well. But yeah, I think with the amount of movies we're going to see by the end of this list, it's worth mentioning.
It's definitely worth mentioning. Yeah. I mean,
Don't know if it's worth moving on though, because I feel like it'll be an early
it was
cut.
a very poor decade for comedies.
That's what I mean. Like, think of the 2000s. You had Step Brothers, Hangover. Like, I'm blanking on other ones, but I know there was more.
Oh, yeah.
Super bad.
Super bad. Oh my God. Yes. So like, he had all the Knocked Up, all those different ones. I like that movie a lot. Knocked Up. Do you know what I'm talking
Wouldn't put on the same level as those other ones.
No, but you had good comedies.
Yeah.
Looking at these lists, I was trying to find comedies. Ted was like the only one I could even come up with.
Yeah, I mean, just like thinking through my brain.
The Hangover sequels all sucked. They all came out.
Yeah.
In
They all came, but I didn't even put that shit on here.
It was the
I
one with
would've
Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis.
Due Date.
Due Date.
I didn't watch that. There was a couple about like elections with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Zach
Gal-
Weirdly enough, though,
Jason Bateman was in one.
That's the thing. So there was like there was some good dark comedy movies this year. Like Game Night came out this year, which I fucking loved, with Jason Bateman, and then he was in that other one where he lied a bunch, which was really good. But I can't think of any pure comedies in any of the years.
That's what Ted was the only one I got on my entire list. So yeah, I mean,
I'm starting to think you should put Ted 2 on the list. We're taking it with it, or Ted 1,
I think at least put it on the list. We need something
because I can't think of a comedy I like more than it.
Jackass 3D.
But that's only because you can't tell them apart.
I also had Lawless on my list for 2012.
That was the one with Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
Great
Tom
movie.
Hardy. It's not iconic. It's just really
So there was another, I think it was in 2010, but The Town came out, and I love that movie. But those movies all kind of run together a little bit, like just those type of movie.
Lawless is like set back in the.
I know
Prohibition,
exactly
though.
what you're saying. I know it is. I've seen a movie.
Yeah, but you said it runs together with like The Town.
So movies that are like action, there's like a big cast of like a whole lot of people. I'm saying they all run together for me. Like, I know I can distinguish them, but I'm saying
Okay.
like The Town, The Departed, like there was like the string of those
Yeah.
kind of movies. Lawless was just a part of that, like action with a bunch of like male leads, and I don't know. To me, it just didn't stand out at all.
Okay.
That's all I was saying. But if you guys really like it,
No. I'm not saying
Not
it's
enough to
iconic.
move
I
on.
was just-
It was just a good Western for that time.
And then I think this one's slightly iconic.
Yeah.
Flight.
the one with Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington.
I never saw it.
Really?
What's it about?
he's an airline pilot, and
He gets drunk.
he's an addict, which is surprisingly, which is what they came out about, is like a lot bigger thing than people realize for like airline pilots.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he crashes the plane. Well, the plane crashes, but it had engine failure, so it wasn't anything he did. But he lands the plane successfully and saves all these people. But
He was drunk at the time.
He was drunk at the time, and yeah, it's really good. You should watch it.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I did see it.
It came up as one of the top movies, but I didn't see it. I didn't feel too comfortable putting movies I hadn't seen.
I had two more. I don't think they deserve to be talked about a lot, but I like to mention them because they're great movies.
Looper.
Not Looper. Silver Lining Playbook with Jennifer
Yes,
Lawrence.
I thought I was going to put that on my list.
I love that movie. Not a lot happens in that movie either, but I fucking just enjoy
It was
like
just
the
like one of them
dynamics
movies.
of it.
It was one of those movies of the 2000s, though, like 10's. I don't know. I would be fine with putting it on the list. I really would.
Well, we already took 3 from this year, so I don't want to, or 4 from this year, so I don't know. And then
It doesn't matter by year, though.
Pitch Perfect, because I love Pitch Perfect,
I like Pitch Perfect.
and it
as well.
started my love for the Anna Kendrick.
My either one of those. Pitch Perfect did start like, I don't know though. I don't know how many.
The 2 and 3 were so bad.
Yeah.
If they had followed it up,
I don't know if I
stronger-
would have said bad, but not as good.
Joey, do not let your love of Anna Kendrick blind you. They were
I
bad.
have so the next one I have is Magic Mike.
Oh,
I
boy.
thought that was pretty iconic. I think it's iconic. People still talk about that.
For all the wrong reasons.
They do, but it was a movie that came out that I would say was pretty iconic at the time.
I've never seen it.
I've watched like half of it. It's you gotta really like watching dudes dance to make your way through. I was like, I'll just watch it for the story. There's not a whole lot of
think I
story
watched-
there in
I
between.
think I
dudes
watched the sequel, weirdly enough, but never the first one.
There's not a whole lot of story in between dudes dancing, so
That's-
I fell out of it. But I wanted to bring it up.
2013, Zach, what's your shop movie?
Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah, that's also my top 2013 movie.
Yeah. Now, Skylar, beforehand, you were kind of talking about how you don't think that's an iconic movie.
I'm saying as a whole for the decade. It might be in because of the decade, but I think that I was using that more as why the decade was so poor.
Okay.
I think it's a fantastic movie, and I think it's going to end up on this list, and I think that's an indictment of the decade. That's all.
So actually,
I wouldn't use it as against. I think it's a great movie.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
so
but
it's my favorite movie of 2013. I don't think it's going to be the most iconic movie from 2013.
No.
Because we have now officially the most iconic kids movie in 2013.
Frozen.
Which is Frozen.
It's on all of our lists.
Yeah, I mean, like it,
Let it
love
go.
it, hate it, it doesn't matter.
it go, man.
Elsa is a character, and Let It Go will live on forever. They are not going anywhere.
No, I can't wait till my daughter can like sing with me.
Yeah, that was number 2 on my list. I was like, Frozen has to go on this.
Frozen is the most iconic kids movie from this era. It's
Yeah, and that's why Toy Story. I think that's why earlier Toy Story was like, nah, that's not gonna make it.
like I know
We're not wasting 20% of the top 10 movies on those type of movies. I'm sorry.
like
There's just
we're
too
getting a Disney movie. It's there. It's 2013. There you go.
much. What's your next one?
I have Lone Survivor on the list. I know Joey doesn't like war movies.
I like Lone Survivor. I thought it told a really good story.
Never saw this one.
It's kind of the there was like the Zero Dark 30s, the Lone Dark, like,
Sadder.
Wahlberg
Yeah,
was in it though,
Sadder.
right?
Much sadder.
Yeah.
Much more sad.
but like those
It's like
serious.
it's like you give
war-
me War and Wahlberg together. I'm usually like,
Were both
You
of those?
You,
in,
I
like-
can't like you gotta see it before you can judge it.
Were
I'm
both
sorry.
of
I'm not
those
judging
in-
it.
Did both those take place like in Afghanistan?
Yes,
think
that
so.
one was.
This was like the decade of making those type of war movies, though, too.
Definitely the decade of making like
Well,
real life stories.
Yeah, because it was happened earlier.
Right,
Yeah.
the previous decade. But that's what I'm saying. Like those all came to popularity. There's another one that I'm going to argue a lot more for when
Yeah,
it comes up.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
One I threw in here also, Captain Phillips.
I never actually saw this one.
Is that the one where
That's with Tom
look,
Hanks
we are
on the
taking
boat.
this? Yes,
I'm the captain.
I'm the
I'm-
captain now. Yes.
I'm the captain. Look at me. I'm the captain of this boat.
yes, yes. I never saw it.
Wow.
But it is that well known that we know that.
Yes.
Like, I mean, if that's an
I'm the
argument at
captain.
all,
The I am the captain now meme is very famous.
yeah, I'm fine with putting that on the
No,
list.
you guys haven't even seen it. I can't confidently put it on the list.
The next one I have is Prisoners. You
Yeah,
just
so
remember that?
Prisoners is also on my list.
I've never even heard of it.
So that's why I don't think it's iconic.
I'm gonna download it for you. Okay, I would agree. I'm gonna download it for you. The first time I watched that movie, I had to like watch it again. It's so good.
Have you ever seen Gone Girl?
Yes.
Do you know how Gone Girl's not a movie a lot of people talk about, but when you find somebody who's seen Gone Girl, you're like, man, isn't that fucking great and crazy? Unless you didn't like Gone Girl.
It's all right.
Oh my
I know
God.
exactly. No, I prepare. It's one of those movies that you like have to talk to somebody about what happened, but
Like
it keeps
Warrior.
you- No, it's like a think. It's like a thinking movie.
Arrival.
Donnie Darko.
Arrival.
Donnie. Okay.
Arrival, the less mainstreamy version of Arrival, yes.
Okay.
It is. It's one of probably on my top, like my personal top 10 movies of the decade. It would be on there.
But it's not. It's.
But you're right. It can't
it's
be
like
iconic
that.
if Skylar's never even fucking heard of it.
Exactly.
If 33% of us haven't heard of it, it can't be iconic.
Exactly.
I really want you to watch it though. Yeah, please do because I really think
Reaction
you're
to
gonna like
Gone Girl.
it. It's
kinda.
Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, how can you not like that?
Oh, where
And
he
he's
plays
not-
the gay.
He's not the gay. He's not a gay. in
I
it.
had to say it.
Yeah.
2014.
Oh, I had one more
Oh,
for 2013.
sorry.
Yeah, motherfucker. I still had two more.
Don't say Gravity.
I'm gonna say Gravity. I hate that movie. No,
I
no,
love
no.
Gravity.
I had to put it because it was one of the biggest movies that year. But I hate it.
It
I
was
don't-
kind of a big
I wouldn't
deal.
say it's iconic though.
Okay, that's fine. But I fucking hate
got
that
another
movie.
American Hustle. Fucking love American Hustle.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
I kind of remember. I don't remember it a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then obviously it would never make the list, but it holds a space in my heart. Pacific Rim. Fucking love that.
Jesus.
No,
movie.
I was gonna put Pacific Rim, but I thought you would yell at me, you guys. So I love that movie.
I love Pacific Rim. Man.
Great movie.
So good. Sequel's really bad, but the one was really
the
good.
first one was really good. Can't make the list.
It can't make the list,
No.
but I had to mention.
Mainly because the quality of the movie just doesn't. When you look at that list right there,
Yeah.
it can't come close.
Like,
to
man,
that.
Pacific Rim is fun, and I look at this, I'm like, man, those are really good films.
That was a fun hour and a half, but those are actually good movies. So now we're on 2014, right?
Which
I think
The year of
my favorite movie,
John
of
Wick.
2014, but I already know how he feels about it. Is Gone Girl.
Gone Girl's on my list. Just so you know.
John Wick.
John Wick. John Wick didn't make my list, but I understand.
John Wick's on my list,
What?
but I listed a whole lot.
14's a really good year.
John Wick. I think John Wick needs to be brought up.
I think it's iconic.
You think it's iconic?
I think it's iconic.
What's the argument for it?
It started the whole franchise, and so many people watch those films and talk about those films.
Yeah.
And there's not many movies like it because it's just people shooting each other the entire
I
time.
guess.
It's like a
But
video
it's like
game.
it's like I wouldn't ever tell somebody that Taken was iconic and it had its moment.
I would tell
like-
people Taken's iconic.
Okay.
Yeah,
For
all
that
right,
time,
all right,
I would
all right.
if we were doing an oath. I mean, if people
yeah, I
want
think
to,
that's iconic.
I think
Alright,
Taken's
fair
an
enough.
very iconic movie.
All right, fair enough.
Good luck.
Yeah, like there's so many parts. I have a very specific set of skills.
It's just that. It's just that monologue.
I mean, I will allow it. I have no.
I think you should. I
complaints.
think you can put John Wick on it.
I think it needs to go. It's one of a kind, man, and people know it. It's one of a kind.
So Gone Girl
How
came
isn't
out in
it?
2014.
Name a movie like it. Name a movie like it where it's just people shooting each other literally start to finish.
I mean, Taken.
No, it's not. It's not.
I mean, I will admit that somebody looked at Taken and was like, "What if we did more of it?"
Yeah, that's
But-
what they did. Yeah,
But to me, an original idea isn't just, "What if we had less and more shots?"
Yeah.
That's not
less
like.
talking.
I don't look
less
at that guy
story.
and I'm like, he's a fucking genius.
I'm not saying he's a genius, but I'm just saying there's no movie
it's
like
kind of
it.
like the first Fast and the Furious movie. Would you put that? Would you say that's iconic?
No.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
for the sake-
100%.
How the fuck can you not say yes? Do you not
You're on-
understand this?
Yeah.
Because when you're only taking 10 movies, I at some point have to start taking good cinematography over something that started the franchise. So did Transformers 1.
And that is iconic.
I guess so.
100% That's iconic.
It's
To
iconic.
me, you need good and in the mindset.
okay.
You can't have, and that's why I think
Does John Wick make our final 10? Probably not.
and that's why I think John Wick can go, because it is the mixture of good and started something.
Okay. I'm not. I just.
But
you
to
s-
say
but no,
there's nothing else like it,
You haven't named one.
I mean, if you don't think Taken's close enough to John Wick, we have a lot of movies that we are not leaving off the list that are original ideas, including Gone Girl.
That was 2014.
Yeah,
I can put Gone Girl.
No, you don't have to.
Movies like I looked up movies like John Wick. They have The Matrix, War, Equalizer movies.
Yeah.
Atomic Blonde, The Furious movies.
Atomic Blonde's close.
Actually-
Atomic Blonde is close.
Well,
Bad
Atomic
Boy-
Blonde
the
came
Bad
out
Boys
after John
movies.
Wick, so it was like purposely trying to be John Wick.
You're right. Good point.
Okay, that was about it. There's not much. Yeah, I like it. There's some bangers in
So,
this year though that I think we need.
This
to
is
talk
where I
about.
have my second superhero film that I think could make the list.
Guardians.
It's actually not Guardians.
Oh,
It
well,
is-
Guardians is there for me. So
It is The Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is also on my list.
Because while I like Guardians more, I think The Winter Soldier was the first movie that really showed that you can have a superhero movie without being a superhero movie. Winter Soldier is a political drama that just happens to use a superhero character in it. And I think it's special for that. Where Guardians is more like what we've seen, where it's a ragtag group of guys who get together and they
With comedy
the
the only
aspects.
difference that Guardians had over other like movies that became before it was that's the first one I would say is a comedy.
Yeah, it's definitely funny.
It is, and I think it started. And now in every fucking superhero movie,
They
it made
throw
its way.
comedy.
That started the trend. It's in fucking Star Wars now. They have comedy in Star Wars because of Guardians of the Galaxy. So no,
God damn it.
They had comedy in Star Wars when Star Wars first came out.
I mean, look at the Ewoks, man.
They
Oh,
definitely
really?
they 100% had.
I don't
shit,
know. When I
fuck
watched the old ones, I must not get the comedy because I didn't think they were that
I
comedy.
mean,
they-
it's old school comedy. Like it's
Okay,
subtle.
well,
I
I-
understand what you're
yeah.
saying. They're very open about it.
Well,
They're
then-
extremely open about it.
Well, then we can cross it off because it didn't start anything new and put Winter Soldier. I think Winter Soldier needs to be on the list.
All I know is we've done 4 years and 42 minutes.
Well, 20. No, we only started at like 24. We bantered for a while.
Took Zach a long time to explain.
That's fair. We did kind of keep interrupting.
American Sniper.
We can speed up a little.
100%. That's the movie I was going to talk about. I think that has to be on our list.
Joey's about ready to tell me I haven't seen
Did
it.
you see it? Joey, did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh God.
Skylar, what are your thoughts for American Sniper?
Disappointing. No, the movie's not disappointing. The movie's really good. But then you like look into stuff after, and you're like, that's not even what he wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of
I
they
mean,
took a lot of liberties with
and,
the
well, it-
intellectual property there.
they did, but in their defense, he took a lot of liberties in his intellectual property too, which I understand. I'm not dissing that, but everybody saw that movie at the time.
I mean, I went to that movie 3 weeks after it came out in theaters and it was still sold out. Like we had to get there an hour early and wait in line and they had multiple showings. I mean, it gripped that's one that gripped the fucking nation.
You're not going to have many true story movies that get
that.
that last that long.
And I think it has to be there. And then that was number one on my list. But then my last pick for 2014 is Interstellar.
My last pick for 14 is Birdman.
I never saw Birdman. It's on my list because it won like every fucking award that year.
everywhere.
I don't even know what it's about. To
It's
be
just
honest
about
with
a struggling actor. But the cool part about Birdman is it's all like one take movie. So there's like no cuts.
you. Like 1917.
Yeah. So there's no cuts in it. which
That's
is
really cool. I actually
Yeah.
should watch that because after watching 1917, I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah, when they like move into shit random, and you and then you start to realize you're like, man, I never realized that like cuts in movies are a thing until you watch a movie without them, and then you're like, oh, it's kind of cool how they would
Stands
just
out.
move to
It
the
really
next scene.
stands out.
Yeah,
It's like life.
yeah,
but
it's crazy.
we kind of blew past Interstellar.
I didn't love Interstellar, honestly.
But you guys aren't going to say that's not an iconic movie.
No.
I was literally talking to my buddies yesterday about Interstellar, about how that's like such a big deal.
My problem is it's not even the best. It's not even the best Nolan movie of 2010 or of the 2010s.
I don't know what the other Nolan one is. Are we gonna get
Inception.
to- Oh, that he made both.
Yeah, that's all Nolan.
Well, I don't know. I like space travel movies, so maybe that's why I have like a.
Am I? Do you think I'm wrong?
No, you're right. I'm looking something else up. Keep
Okay,
going.
that's fair.
Okay. I mean, if you guys are both accent, I'm just really surprised because that was one. I mean, that's high up on my final 15.
I have an underrated movie that is not at all iconic, but I think it's better than. Well, it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Edge of Tomorrow.
I love it.
I love that movie. That
Not
needs to be on
iconic,
track.
but a great movie.
No, because most people wouldn't even be able to tell you what it is. But I love that movie.
Live, die, repeat.
I mean, Christopher Nolan, he like did all the Batman movies too.
Mm-hmm.
And Dunkirk.
Was Dunkirk 2014?
No,
No.
but it was 2017. I'm just saying movies he did.
Yeah.
Batman, Superman, he did that.
Yeah. Well, he always puts a horse.
Oh,
in his
you're like
movies.
surprised that you're like, oh, what's another Nolan movie? That's what I thought you were like.
No. I don't know movies based on directors. I was just surprised. I was just like, oh, what else did he? What was the other one that Joey was talking about? That's all. I was like generally surprised in that. Yeah.
2015, my top movie is.
The Revenant.
It is not.
It's on my list. I didn't like it.
I didn't love it either. My top 15 movie is Mad Max.
Oh,
Didn't even make my list.
Oh my
I saw
God.
it.
it was so bad, and it's not iconic. That was
I'd
like
say-
a cult. That's like a
Cult.
cult following that not even that big of a cult.
I mean, it got as many sequels as John Wick did. Actually, no, it got more than John Wick did. Just throwing it out there since John Wick started something. This little
Mad
cult
Max is
movie.
how old? How old is Mad Max?
There's still four of
There
them.
was the old Mad Max. That
Yeah.
was the reboot. That's a reboot.
Yeah, it's a reboot.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
just saying. He's like, it's got more. I'm like, well, yeah, well, it's older.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't-
I don't think something that gets 4 movies is a cult.
I
But
will
hey, it doesn't
argue.
matter.
I don't think it's very iconic, even though I don't like it. I'm not letting that play into it. I don't think it's that iconic. I just don't think that would. Be
I
one
think
of
the image of the guy playing the guitar with the fire shooting out of it in the desert is maybe more iconic than some images we could pull from other movies. But that's just me.
I don't know if I've ever seen like that image.
No, when Joey says it that way, he's swaying me a little bit.
And if I showed it to you and I went, "Hey, what movies for this
I
from?"
know what
you'd
it's
go,
from 'cause
"Oh,
I've
it's from Mad
seen it.
Max."
I've seen it. Yeah.
But I think even people who haven't.
Most people could do that. I see what you're saying.
I don't
want
think
it
that
to
would
be-
be true. I'm curious now.
I mean, I don't know.
Now
You'd
I'm
have to
curious.
find somebody who knew movies enough to not have seen Mad Max Fury Road. And I don't think there's many of them because I do think it's an iconic movie. It's an iconic character.
It's an iconic character.
I mean, how many times have you heard somebody say, "Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch"? That's a Mad Max reference.
Not for him though.
Not for the new one, but it's a Mad Max reference.
See,
I think you could definitely get me more on board with the Mad Max, the original.
I
being
understand.
Iconic.
I understand.
I think that's iconic.
I think you gave a great argument.
You
To be
pitched it.
completely
my-
honest,
you pitched it.
yeah.
I had to do my best. I love Mad Max.
We're on 2015.
Yeah.
So Revenant was on my list. I didn't like it, but I'm not letting that like factor into my decisions. It's pretty iconic. A lot of people. I mean, it won a ton of awards. I mean,
I liked it.
I put Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
So
That's
my,
a pretty
I had it
iconic
on mine.
movie.
I had it on mine.
It was the reboot.
It's
Like
the
I'm not the
reboot.
reboot. It's the coming back to the
the coming
franchise
back
in the
story.
trilogies. I mean, it's a fucking Star Wars movie. I think you have to put it on the list. What do you guys think?
And then I also have the Hateful Eight on mine.
I have it on mine as well.
I don't have it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it.
I don't think it's iconic. It's not iconic. It's a really good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
I have a couple more that I want to throw out
I have
there.
Sicario.
I love that movie. I know I loved it at the time. I can't even tell you what it's about, to be completely honest. I think drugs in Mexico.
You got it.
All right,
got it.
there you go.
You
It's
got
a great. I remember when I saw it, I was like, I wanted to put it on the list, but I can't remember it, so I'm not putting it on. The list.
Emily Blunt, Josh Brolin.
Love both of them.
I'm drawing a blank on the other one.
Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Is he actually in it? Because that was a total shot in the dark.
I thought he was.
I never saw it.
I thought he was.
Is it a war movie?
No, it's a drug cartel kind of movie.
See,
It's actually really good.
sometimes I run into these things where I'm like, I think that's a war movie, so I never watch it. Cigar
Oh,
Flowers and that.
Benicio del Toro.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. The other Mexican dude. Yeah.
The other dude.
But I mean, to me it's just not iconic.
It's not iconic.
Yeah.
Good movie, but
I have one more on the list. It's not iconic. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, though, and it's Crimson Peak, which is a Del Toro at his finest. But I don't think it's an iconic film. But it
I don't
deserves
even know
mention.
what it is, do you? All right, I have
You fucking
The Martian.
uncultured swines.
The Martian.
I love The Martian,
I like
and
it.
actually, I'm okay with putting it on moving forward because I think it is iconic. I think
think it
people
is.
know of what The Martian is, regardless if they've seen it, like it, or whatever. And Donald Glover's in it, so deserves.
fucking spare me.
I have Jurassic World It was coming back to that franchise. So this was obviously the year of coming back to franchises. What do you guys think?
If the other two wouldn't have been so bad, I think it would have been iconic.
Well,
I honestly think that.
we only got one, right? There's only been one
There's only
sequel.
one.
Oh, there's
yeah.
one. They're making another one.
Yeah, they are.
I have not high hopes.
I
for
didn't
it.
even see the second.
Yeah,
I liked this one.
I didn't hate it.
Iconic wise, do we
yeah.
want to put it on a list?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I actually think there's a better reboot that came out in 15, and that would be Creed.
And
I have that as well on my
Yeah.
list. I'm all for putting Creed over Jurassic World.
also, I feel like what were we just talking about? Well, we were just talking about
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. That's kind of like the Mad Max argument, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know
I see
what I
you're
mean? You
saying,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Like what we were saying.
Yeah.
The original is just too iconic that you can't really.
That makes sense.
To
That's
me.
not if they're gonna watch a Jurassic movie.
Yeah, you're
it's
gonna show
not
them Jurassic
You're not
World.
showing them Jurassic World. I have two more. I have a lot for this year. My next one is Spotlight.
I don't think I ever saw it.
So it's the movie. It has the guy that plays the Hulk, about them uncovering the Catholic Church.
That's right. I remember
scandals.
seeing the trailers. For
Big
it.
deal at the time. I think it's a great movie. It highlighted some crazy things. I don't think that was the start of them molesting children, but I think it brought it to the mainstream in a way,
good for
and
the
that's been.
mainstream.
I mean, that's been. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Not iconic enough.
I don't think enough.
I didn't even know what it was until you
Yeah.
explained it.
Well, then
I
that's
think
the
that's
answer.
I'm
That's-
sorry. I'm sorry.
I would give it a watch. It's a great movie. Like it's very well done,
Worth
and
watching.
it talks about. It really shows the struggle it took for them to like break this story. Because when you're going against a fucking empire like the Catholic Church, it's really fucking hard to
You're
do.
gonna
And
need
in
everything.
Boston, because it all took place in Boston. So I just think I think it's something to give a watch to. But if you guys didn't even know what it was, that's kind of tough to make an iconic list.
So moving to 16.
Oh, there's
Oh,
one
yeah,
more.
one more. Okay, my bad.
Southpaw.
Southpaw's good.
Solely because my dad's in it.
That makes sense.
So if I want people to see my dad in 100 years, so I think that's pretty cool. He's seen like 4 times in the movie.
There
You
you
can actually
go.
tell it's him, so that's pretty cool. It was filmed right here.
Yeah, it was.
in this town. So
2016.
16.
We got to pick up the pace a little bit. Hate to rush you guys, but
Moving to
Yeah, we do.
16, we have, I think, the iconic movie that people think of when they think of mind fuckers, and that's Arrival. I think it's
Yeah.
easily the most iconic movie of the year. Hey, fucking everybody in the world was talking about it when that movie came out.
I agree. Arrival was a very, very big deal.
Deadpool.
Yes. And main reason was that's what started the R-rated superhero movies.
Superhero movie.
I mean, it was huge that year. I think it's got to go on the list. I have Civil War, Captain America: Civil War,
Yeah.
but
I feel like we grabbed most of them at this point.
yeah,
10 Cloverfield Lane, I feel could have been iconic if they wouldn't have.
10 Cloverfield Lane was
put
on
the
my
last 10
list.
minutes on it and tried to make it a Cloverfield movie.
See, even the last 10 minutes, I'm fine with. My problem is like I loved what they did with a low budget sequel to a big budget movie, but then once they did the Netflix one, I'm like, oh, you guys just really don't give a fuck. So to me, the movie isn't non-iconic because of the last 10 minutes, non-iconic because of the fucking Netflix.
I don't think it's iconic. I think Cloverfield would be more iconic than
Well,
10
yes,
I would agree
100%.
because it was the shaky camera and everything, but it was on my list, and it's a great movie. If you literally just turn it off, like before the last 10 minutes, it's like that's the end of the
Bang.
movie. There you go.
As soon as she breaks outside, just shut it off.
And then
Movie's
you're gonna
over.
come away. You're gonna walk away thinking that was a great movie.
Yep.
And that's all you need to do.
So the only other one I have 16 is a comedy, but it's Pop Star Never Stop Popping. Obviously, it's not an iconic movie.
That should be on the fucking list.
It shouldn't be, but it's a fucking great.
It is
song.
so good. My favorite band of all time. Lonely Island. I mean, they are the best band. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that being on the list for personal reasons.
Yeah, that's why I can't. Does anyone have any more before we move to 17?
I have
Try to-
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
It's pretty iconic. I mean, it's
It
two of the
is.
oldest superhero, literally the 2 oldest superheroes going at it, and it's the first time they were in a feature, like a film together.
I know, and it's a movie I love. But if I was going to do
Yes.
iconic, I would probably only show them like 1 or 2 superhero films. And I can't imagine I'm like, yeah, this is the one to pick.
I mean, it's pretty iconic.
That hurts me.
Because I'm gonna keep it going. I have Suicide Squad as well
Definitely
because it
not that one.
started.
Oh,
Okay, they're bad movies, but listen,
I
it
never said Batman
started
versus
the
Superman was bad.
anti-hero.
I would argue Deadpool did that more.
true.
And that was same
And
year.
we did bring it on the list.
But
True.
okay, all right, whatever. I had to say it.
Hey, I respect that. 17. Skylar, what do you got?
Get Out.
Yep, that's
That's
number one on my list.
Yeah.
There you go. Get out.
Yeah, that started a new type of movie. Like that was like a movie I hadn't really seen. I mean, it's a thriller, I guess.
Yeah,
but I
it's a
haven't seen a
thriller,
movie
but
like that.
As
before.
far as these 10 years go for thrillers, Get Out's probably near the top of the list, and it's fucking amazing. And Jordan Peele's my hero.
What's number 2?
Molly's Game.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the
That's the poker
Poker
one.
game.
Yeah.
I have Baby Driver.
poker movie? I've never watched.
We've definitely
It's not
talked
really
about
on poker. It's about her games, but we'll
Okay.
get into it later. We can explain a lot.
Baby Driver's my number 2. I fucking love Baby Driver.
I didn't see it. I saw it was a movie that came out that year.
Yep.
Um,
I love it. Kevin Spacey.
You love movies about drivers, don't you?
I guess so.
He loves Kevin Spacey.
He's a gay. My next movie for 2017 is Logan. I don't know. I think that's a pretty fucking iconic movie. I know it's a superhero movie, but
It
damn,
is. And it's really good, but I think I like that we have Deadpool more. That's my
because
only thing.
it came before. You really
It's
did.
like the
even,
OG.
but that was kind of comedy, R-rated. Logan was like a serious R-rated fucking banger of a goddamn.
It was
movie.
really good.
Well, Skylar, final thought on Logan.
That's good.
All right, fine.
Fuck.
You can't.
Fine.
I think it's one of the
You
better. Okay. I have Spider-Man: Homecoming and Thor: Ragnarok. I think both of those are great movies. So I just wanted to say
They're good.
Yeah,
They're good,
yeah.
but
they're
again,
not on the iconic list because you just can't. I have It.
I have it on mine as well, but because we're taking Get Out, I don't think it's worth bringing.
And it's a reboot.
Exactly.
And then my last one was Blade Runner 2049.
Yep. So I had Blade Runner 2049 on mine and Shape of Water were my last two. Neither did I think deserve to go iconically, but
No, because Blade Runner 2049 is not that great. But
see, I really like it, but it's another one where I think the iconic one is the original, not the sequel.
yeah,
And Shape of Water, I obviously love Del Toro. So
I would agree.
7, or what are we on? 18?
18 was a big year for me.
18.
Number 1, Infinity War. Just write it down.
That's right. He really is.
You have to. I mean, that was. I mean, we're gonna come down to Endgame the following year, and I don't know if all of them can make the list, but I mean, dude, you have to talk about those movies. They're the biggest movies of all time. How could they not be iconic?
Black Panther was a better movie.
I don't think than Infinity War. No.
Black Panther won the back ender
Yeah.
for best movie last year.
Yeah, because fucking things I can't say.
I
on the
understand
air.
it's iconic. I agree with you. It's more iconic. I'm
Okay,
not-
but no, I mean, Black Panther was the first one that a black person was the lead
Yes.
for a superhero movie. It was. I mean, it's a very iconic movie,
Definitely
and like
iconic.
Wakanda Forever. That people still fucking say that shit. I'm fine with putting Black Panther. It's on my list.
no, I think Infinity War is the more iconic. movie.
Iconic.
Okay.
I think Black Panther was better.
I'm just
film.
saying. I think Black Panther was better. A Quiet Place.
I
It's
have A
number,
Quiet Place.
It's number 1 on my list.
I have it on my
I
list.
think it's a unique horror film that really changed the game, and I wish it wasn't getting a sequel because I think it would be more iconic to me. But we'll
Agreed.
see how that goes.
Yeah.
Very much agreed.
Yep.
You can say that about tons of movies, though.
And then the only other one I had on my list was Spider-Verse, just because
I have Into Spider-Verse because it's a cartoon
an
and it's
animated
that good.
movie that blew up that way. I mean,
That's a big fucking
that
deal.
wasn't. I mean, it was obviously gendered towards kids, but wasn't the main kid premise. But
Yeah.
that's all I got for that year.
I'm gonna rapid fire Incredibles 2. It was a revisit
movie.
to a very good first movie. A Star is Born.
Never saw a Star Wars.
I didn't see it.
I put it on there. It's iconic. Yeah.
Isn't it
I
kind of
don't
the story
know.
that's been told like 100 times though?
Yeah, well, all those type of movies have been, in my opinion.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
I didn't see it. We don't have to put it on there, but
Oh, I
probably.
saw it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's not bad. I have this opinion that it's American Sniper, but they just made it up, and he's a musician. Like they just rewrote the movie
But now
from
he's
a musician standpoint, and it's kind of. And if you watch it, you'd be like, he's kind of right. I think
All right, I'll watch it. I like the American Sniper.
it's not a bad movie. Lady Gaga is really good in it.
Okay, I have 2 more. Bohemian Rhapsody because it won all the awards that
It did
year,
win
and
all the
I
awards.
don't know what it is to be honest.
It's a
with you.
movie about Queen.
Okay, it was a big deal.
It's a good
Wasn't
movie.
it more for just Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, I mean, Queen is Freddie Mercury though. That was kind of the thing, you know.
The last one, I think this has to go on the list, is Bird Box. At that time, the Bird Box challenge.
I went back and forth with that, and I think I agree with that.
And it's it was the first big budget Netflix film to bust out.
That's why I worry about, like, if you said, like, in like 100 years we show people, I don't know if I'd be like,
I would.
Here's Bird Box, because it's not even the best horror movie of the year. That's my problem.
But it's iconic.
I agree with
We're
you.
not going with like
I know.
it's iconic. People were wrecking their fucking cars because of that.
Well,
movie.
that's
that's an iconic movie.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Okay.
I'm fine with moving on.
All right, in the final year.
We got to move.
Well, I was gonna propose something. Do you guys want to come back? Because this is gonna be a discussion.
Yeah.
Do you
It's
guys
true, it
want to
takes some
end
time.
this? We'll finish up 2019, so we don't rush it. I don't really want to rush this next one.
We can, yeah. That's fine.
We could come back and
No, let's do
whittle it down.
2019.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he meant do 2019.
Yeah, I meant
He
do
meant do the
2019,
list.
and then we'll come back and whittle it down to the top 10 most iconic movies.
We can make that like next week's banter.
Yeah.
Play Jeopardy or Zachpardy.
1917.
Yep, has to be on the list. Won like every fucking
Obviously, I
award.
never saw it.
You
but-
got to see it.
I'm fine with that.
Honestly, like it's because if you like Birdman because of the one cut and everything, like dude, that's a war movie. That's one cut.
He doesn't like war movies. That's
But it's not.
no.
man.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm just telling you.
Really good. My number one is Endgame.
Yeah, he's writing it down.
Yeah. You have to put that on the list.
So
Skylar saw that opening night. I mean, if Skylar went to see a movie opening night, that's a big
he was
fucking
on the
deal.
news.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of movies opening night that are on this list. Actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because they're iconic fucking movies.
One of the movies I forgot about 2019 that I love is Us, which is obviously Jordan.
I have it
Peele's
on my
follow-up to
list.
Get Out.
I think it's iconic for that year, but I think Get Out's a better movie.
I don't know if it's iconic for the year. That's the thing.
I mean, the scissors were. My thing with Us is that it came out in February. It was in that too early that I think people kind of forgot about it. But like those scissors were kind of a thing for a while. Like you saw, like that's all their marketing campaign was just like the silver scissors, and people were like, "Oh man, that's that Us movie from Jordan Peele." But I don't know. I liked it. I think it might be better than Get Out, but I don't know.
I didn't like it more than Get Out. I thought it was kind of.
I can't say I didn't because I didn't see
You
it,
didn't
but I
see
have a hard time thinking it's going to top Get Out.
It to me, it didn't even come close. To be honest with you.
It's less social commentary. I think that's why there's parts of Us I really enjoy. It's a little bit more just straight horror, but the story of Get Out is really it's fine.
The
I'm
things
fine.
with that movie is like Get Out, like everything like was believable to me, and this one like it just. Okay, all right, it's part of it. Part of
Skylar's
Get Out-
face just went.
I know part of Get Out. It was
No,
more
no.
believable.
Yeah.
Where Us was just like, nope, that wouldn't work. That
Us
way.
is definitely a horror film. That's
Yeah.
for damn sure.
After I watched Us, I'm like, there's just
I
so
was
many
with you
flaws.
until you thought about the brain switch
You lost them on that one.
with Get Out.
Yeah, you're right. But that part, I don't know. I have Joker.
I have it as well.
It's
I just wish it was a better film.
you don't like it?
They could have done a lot more with it.
I
I think they
think-
left a lot on the table.
I think they did an amazing job with it. I don't know if I ever want to watch that movie again, and I think that means it's a good movie.
Why?
Because it was like hard for me. It was literally hard for me to watch.
Why?
Well,
Just the way it went into like mental
Disability.
illness, like disorders. Like it just made it. It was like the way he's seeing life, and just like it was just hard for me to watch. It was
We've
one of
had
those
other
movies.
movies that do that though.
Okay,
That
well, I probably
I'm
don't
just
watch
saying,
them.
but like Fight Club, that's like all about is like
that's definitely what it's all about.
But it wasn't as in your face because half the time you don't even understand that he's
Also
fucking
generally
hallucinating.
true.
What I'm
That's
saying is
true.
this one punches you in the face with like the whole time you're like, you see the world through his eyes, and you're like, I get why he is the way he is, and
Yeah.
and that's a good movie. But at the same time, I don't want to feel that way. I don't know. I'm
just asking,
all
that's
for
all.
Joker being on there, but it's a movie I don't ever need to see again. Did you see it, Joey?
No, I've not seen it yet.
I think it has to be. I think it was super iconic.
I mean, I know people talk about it. I haven't.
The other
seen
thing
it.
that I remember about it is there were movies like this before that that people talked about because they were worried about, copycats and shit like that.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Rises, everybody was worried that, we had the shooting. Everybody was worried about that too at the time.
Yep.
It's a little bit recency bias that I
Yes.
think that it's
That's
on.
on there.
But I don't disagree with you that it shouldn't be on there either.
I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So I don't, only because I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
So
I fully believe by the time I watch it, it'll not only be my favorite movie from 2019, but it'll be iconic. I just have not seen it yet.
That's what director is that?
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, and that's the guy that you guys really
Yeah,
like. That
I mean,
movie. So it's so good. It made me go back and watch like other Quentin Tarantino movies, like because it's that good.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
I think you both need to watch it. I think it's got to go on the list.
I'm fine with that. We can throw it on.
It's a huge movie. I don't know, like it is a huge movie.
It's a you.
Yeah.
There you go. And then the last argument I'll make before we go into back end of the week.
Yeah.
And while I know I'm the only one because I voted for it last time in the back enders, and I know you didn't like it, he never saw it, is Detective Pikachu. While I understand,
Not iconic.
okay, I mean, just hear me out before you fucking throw in my face.
I'm gonna hear you out. Skylar doesn't.
I'm gonna hear
listen
you
to
out,
things.
but I'm just telling you it's not iconic. I'll listen to your argument. You're allowed to make the argument.
We took iconic character. Obviously, you can't disagree with that. Pikachu's probably most known other than maybe Mickey Mouse. And we made a video game movie that not only was well received, but made a lot of money, which has never happened before. So we took one of the most iconic characters in the world and finally gave them a movie in a genre that never makes money and most people fucking shit on.
with probably the best actor of all time.
With one of the best actors of all time. And we made a successful film. It has never been done before. And it's with one of the most iconic characters of all time. I mean, Pikachu is Pikachu. Whether the movie's good or not, they did something that has never really been done before.
You made a great argument. No.
You did, like I said, you made a great argument.
Right.
But if I asked 25 people that I came across on the street, did you know they made a movie, Detective Pikachu? You might say half. Half of them might say I have.
Yeah,
no
that's a
idea.
weird thing, though, to use as your determiner for what is and isn't iconic.
Is
I
it
mean, we
though?
put-
Is that not like if I said, did you know they made an Avengers Endgame movie? And be like, yeah, of course I fucking knew that.
100% of people would say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
If you well,
If you said,
But at
you
the same
might,
time-
you might not get.
if you said to
25%.
25 people, though, did you know they made Avengers End Times? Like, oh yeah, I saw that movie. It was great. Or oh yeah, I heard about that movie.
But
You
they know what you're talking about.
yeah, but that's because there's
You
so
can
many
say,
of them.
You can say the name wrong and they'd know what you were talking about.
But they wouldn't maybe know
And
that you
that
said the
makes it
name
iconic.
wrong. I guess. But you're talking about a lot more films.
I get I get
Yeah.
that.
It's
You
a
made a
weird
great argument.
argument to me.
Well, okay. I agree that I thought it was a weird.
1917 is a movie we brought from this year, correct?
Yes.
It's a war movie based on historical moments.
Yes.
If you walk through the streets and told 25 people, do you know they made a movie about that war
They would
moment?
say yes.
You think more people would say yes to 1917, the war movie, than Detective Pikachu?
Right now, yes.
Yes.
But I'm saying if you go back, I'm trying to help your argument.
I'm not
If
fighting
you
with
give
you.
me a second. I'm going down this list and I'm trying to see, like, if you ask 25 people if they've heard of this movie, I feel like every one of these movies we've listed, people would say over Detective Pikachu. To be honest, is there one, like, point one out that you can make the argument that less people would know than Detective Pikachu? I'm being honest, because if you can find one, I was trying to.
I just think it's bigger of a deal than you guys had realized. Like,
It didn't even do good in the box office.
I mean, it was like the top rated video game movie of all time until Sonic.
That's the thing though. You're not saying.
But it was
You're
like
picking
you're
out a
talking like
niche audience.
45 million over like something when the previous video game movie was at like 22. You're talking about doubling.
Yeah, I
That's a
understand that,
big
but it's still
deal.
a niche audience.
I guess I don't know, man.
Like I'm going over what Zach said here, and the only one I could think of is probably Arrival.
You think Arrival's the only movie? with
Okay,
that
so
people might be like,
all
I
right,
have no idea what
over
you're talking
under
about.
on Detective Pikachu, was it in the top? If I had to say, if 15 is the cutoff, was it in the top 15 or the lower than 15
for gross?
for top grossing movies of 2019?
I would say it was under.
So you'd say it was one of the top 15.
No,
It
I
was-
would say it was under. I'm saying it wouldn't have been the top 15.
Okay, it was the 17th.
Yeah, but a 17th for a
Gross.
video game is crazy impressive.
Still
For
not
one of the
iconic.
most, I guess. All right. All right.
Joe's like,
I'm
fuck,
not
I don't
saying
even
it
fucking
didn't do
care
well
at
for
this
what they
point.
expected. I'm not saying that. I'm not arguing that.
I'm just
Hey,
saying,
it beat Dumbo.
for some of
If you
the
think about, if you think about it, it beat Dumbo.
And more, yeah, that's fair.
It beat a lot.
I
Ford
just
versus
think-
Ferrari, Godzilla. It beat Godzilla. Like, there's a lot of big movies that came out. Zombieland, Double Tap.
I will say this: they did a terrible job marketing Detective Pikachu. I feel.
I do too. I think that they could have been a way bigger hit, and I don't think it was a bad movie. I think it was.
I didn't
they
see
did
it. I'm not
fine.
even saying it's a bad movie. That's not the argument.
Do you want it on there, Joey? Would it make you feel better?
It would make me feel
All
better.
right, put them on there.
I'll even put it at the top.
Thank you.
Joey just wants to have this argument one more time when he tries to get
Yes.
on the top 10.
Yep. Don't worry. Well, it'll be one more time.
If you think I can come up with facts for that episode, you fucking dreaming.
Oh shit. Let's get this back ender over.
Backup of the week.
I actually sent
Zach
it in.
Clark went all out this week and even got our backup of the week for us.
I did.
And I had to fight him off. I didn't have to fight him off, but I had a couple I was rearing to go. I was ready to throw out Miles Garrett again, that fucking douchebag. Gun
Well,
Girl
we
was ready
can
to
bring
go
him
again.
up.
Yeah, Gun Girl was in there. Miles Garrett. But
Here,
Zach just
Skylar,
found one that's
your-
hilarious.
Your
delivery
is way better than mine. Yeah.
So you're walking through the store. You know, I don't know. You're really craving something and you're reaching your wall and you say, son of a bitch. I don't have any money for that.
goddamn.
I have no money for
Happens to me
crap.
all the time.
Happens all the time. So, you think, I'm going to try to sneak this out so nobody notices.
Theft.
Where are you hiding it, Joe?
Probably like in my shirt.
In your
Maybe
shirt?
in a pocket if
I'm
it's
going
small
like,
enough.
yeah, I'm going to probably try to act like I got a little extra poundage.
belt
Yeah.
loop, like in the
Yeah.
belt loop there. Yeah, that area.
If I got like a zip up hoodie, I'll slip it in the thing.
Okay.
Keep it there.
All right.
Specifically, if we should ask him if he was trying to.
Now,
yeah.
wait. What if you're a woman? Where are you trying to steal things?
Cleavage.
Cleavage.
I'm going
Cleavage,
cleavage
yeah.
every time.
Yeah,
Yeah, if a
that-
guy's
definitely.
looking at my tits anyway, I can yell at him.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
You can kind of pick them up, maybe slide something in there.
Yeah.
Now, what if it was like cookie dough? Is that throwing anything in there?
Well,
You got any challenges?
how would
you're
the
gonna
cookie
face?
dough be shaped? I guess is the bigger question.
It's the
Canister.
tube.
Ah,
Think of
okay,
the
it's
tube
the
of
tube.
cookie dough.
All right.
It's the tube.
For me, as a guy, it's going right on my dick.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
People, it's
definitely
already
going in the
believable.
pants.
They look at me. They look at me. They're like, "That's a nice hog on that kid."
Wow, look at that hog.
Yeah,
Definitely
Just what our audience wants to hear. Talking about Zach's dick.
wouldn't be the first time. 100% not going to be the last. I can tell you that.
Oh, shit. Well, what if you're a woman, Zach? Where might you decide to put that cookie dough?
I mean, I guess if you're really craving cookie dough, you put it where we're all thinking right now, right up in there.
An incident coming out of Greenville, North Carolina is just one example of what some people will do around the holidays when they are short on cash. A 34-year-old mother of three is now under arrest after a shoplifting incident turned tragic. Witnesses say Shatani Green entered the
Shatani.
North Carolina Walmart. Anytime we're in Walmart, we know we're in good.
I've been in a North Carolina Walmart, so could be the
That's
same
true.
one.
With her 3 children, ages 5, 7, and 8, when she grabbed a can of pre-made Christmas cookie dough. And we then find security footage of her going down a crowded aisle, putting her children around her, lifting up her skirt, and making the can of cookie dough disappear.
Oh,
It's a
And-
nail biter of a story.
So, for the record, I've had friends that have got busted shoplifting at Walmart. They watch those cameras very closely. So security was on her right away, approaching her. She told her children to go find their aunt in the front of the store. And the officer said, hand over the cookie dough.
oh.
So as any smart person would do, she turned and ran. He
Smart.
grabbed her by the arm, and she put up a good fight, and he tackled her. And when she landed, he heard a loud pop. And the woman started screaming, and cookie dough began running down her leg.
Oh god.
The can of cookie dough, as you can guess, exploded inside her vagina.
Here's the thing. though. Here's the thing.
So many
A
things.
tube of cookie dough cannot be that expensive.
About $2.50. Yeah.
There's no way they didn't buy anything else, right? Like they didn't go in there just to steal.
Well, maybe
the
that's why they got
tube.
caught.
But
So if that's why they got caught, but they were buying other groceries, why the fuck did they just pay the $2 for 2 cookie dough?
maybe that was all they were getting.
Yeah, maybe they just were really wanting cookies.
Like, man, we really want some cookies.
It's
Round up the
Christmas.
kids. We're going to get
What
cookies.
Christmas?
This was an overzealous I don't know if that's the right word, but like this was a go get 'em security guard because they're literally trained to not go after. Like I know when I worked at Lowe's, they told us that like they'll see if you see somebody shoplift, you just let them go because people that are shoplifting are normally not the type of people you want to have like physical altercations with. So like I'm really surprised the security guard fucking tackled the girl over a can of fucking cookie dough.
The only thing I could think is it could be a lower income area, and they could have
I'm betting
police that actually are there. So it could have been an actual law enforcer as opposed to just a security guard.
and they would be allowed.
And
to
they
do that.
obviously would do whatever it took. You know, they wouldn't care.
Maybe it's an epidemic down there. People are always shoving shit up their cooch, and they're
Yeah,
like,
that's
"We've
fair.
had enough. Enough.
We're
with
gonna
the
make an
cooch
example
theft."
of this bitch right here.
We're gonna show the world.
And if you really think
Hand
about it,
it over. Can you? I would not be like, I'd be like, here's $2.
Like, keep it.
I'm just throwing
But
it
come
out
with
there.
me.
She picked the right item of steel. It's the perfect shape.
That's true.
You're not wrong, my brother.
It's the perfect shape. And she had 3 kids. So, I mean, that thing's.
Hot dog down the hallway.
There you go, guys. That's
I think that was a pretty good
That's a
bag.
good
Oh,
bag.
yeah.
Oh, definitely.
We're not talking
We-
about Miles Garrett or the Houston Astros or anything else.
Or Gun Girl.
Or Gun Girl.
We've talked about them too many times.
We have talked about
We got
all
a
of
nice
them.
old can.
We
in
went a
the
little
bag.
north of Florida.
A little more.
When I saw it, I just instantly assumed it was Florida.
Oh,
to
cool.
be
Another
honest,
Florida
yeah.
story. And then you're like, wow, North Carolina. Like, Florida, you're letting me down.
Yeah. It just seems like something that would happen in Florida. You
It
know?
does. It really does.
Well, backenders. We haven't had one go over about an hour and 10 minutes on bit, I feel like.
It was
So you like looking
good
at it happened like a
topic.
week ago, and I'm like, never mind.
It's all right.
So backenders, we hope you enjoyed. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're gonna whittle that list down. We're gonna get the top 10
Whittling.
movies, and then every one of
We're
our
gonna
listeners
whittle.
has to watch all 10 of the movies.
Yep.
And give us detailed written.
I'm gonna have at
essays on
least
it.
a 22 monologue about why Detective Pikachu is iconic. I will start
written out.
I will start practicing.
No periods though.
No,
Oh, geez.
of course not. Only commas. Sentences don't end. All right, backenders. Peace out.
Later.
See ya.